Thomson Reuters is the world's largest financial information provider. We reach over 1 billion people a day with our internet news and information. We also supply information to financial institutions that they use for trading and for managing their systems on a daily, constant basis. Now, this information, as you can imagine, is real-time, critical information for their business. We're collating it from hundreds of exchanges around the world, as well as various contributing institutions. We're bringing it together and shipping it back out again to 60,000 locations with over 300,000 customers on the end of that. We have to make that information available to whoever wants to see it within a second. As you can imagine, that's an enormous challenge just in terms of real-time processing. But factor onto that the current economic situation and the volatility in the market, and we have an enormous challenge in that our curve for increase in update rates across those networks is exponential. We recently hit 280,000 updates per second across that network. We had service issues, and we needed to implement service improvement, and it was believed that by putting in standard processes with an integrated tool set that we would be able to move forward well and improve our customer service. What we've found over time is that we've proved out the business case through the efficiencies that we've gained. So by having standard process and tool set, we're able to actually reduce the number of staff that we have. And we're able to undertake other initiatives that in turn cost us less money. For example, recently we had an integration when Thomson bought Reuters. Bringing those two teams of people together in all of the various data centers that we had was a major challenge, an integration challenge. Anyone who's been through a merger knows that can be one of the most difficult things you can go through. We fortunately had a model of our processes that we had built as part of the ITIL rollout. We were able to take that model, adjust it, reapply it with the new tool set, and roll it all out within about 6 weeks. We discovered that we didn't really have an understanding of all of the issues that we had in our systems. So this was the lagging indicator of that was the customer satisfaction. What we found is as we started to ask ourselves what are the big problems that we have and what are the big things that are going bang and hurting our customers, we discovered more and more things. And we found that there was a huge curve up of more and more incidents being discovered as we standardized the process and we came out with a set of severity levels that were agreed and targeted around the company. The more and more people were coming out and being honest about what was going on in their systems and reporting in the same way. So we were getting consistent data, but we were astonished to see the levels increasing. We thought, we're going to get our handle on this and it's all going to come down. It took a while. It took a long time while that curve went up. But interestingly, customer satisfaction stayed the same. So we were actually just uncovering a whole load of stuff that was going on anyway that we had forgotten or that we were not picking up through the noise of our day-to-day operation. So as we cleared all that up, we hit the top, finally, of the curve. And now coming down the other side, by implementing good, solid problem management, we're reducing those incidents overall, getting it down to a level where we're now managing them out at a rate of 20% per year. And we've been doing that consistently for about 4 years now. And that means that there's a whole chunk of stuff that was going on, big issues, big noise, that we don't have to worry about anymore. It's gone. And that's where the cost reductions have come from, or a lot of them anyway. One of the tricky points of process management is that it's very rare that you actually get to bank your own gains. The gains tend to be banked by other parts of the organization. So while we may implement a process that means that you can manage incidents more quickly, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're able to get rid of heads in the organization. So the service management teams will find that they have more time to do more proactive work, for example, which in turn helps feed the cycle. So in some ways, it's very hard for us to identify costs. In other ways, we are able to say that we have removed upstream and downstream impact of some of the issues that we've uncovered. So, for example, all of those issues that don't happen anymore were causing customers to pick up the phone and call us. Well, we have large help desks that manage our customer calls, and they're highly trained people who who help our customers through the very complex trading systems that we have. They were wasting their time picking up calls and then having to transfer them over to the data center desks because there was something going wrong in the data centers. We've eliminated a large volume of those calls, which comes straight back to either headcount reductions in those help desks or freeing those people up to do the job that they're supposed to, which is helping drive customer satisfaction. So there's a direct line to someone in the organization getting a lot of return out of this. The efficiencies that we bring can actually be seen as positives rather than just responses to the current situation. So yes, there's a downturn, and we have a lot of pressure on us in terms of things like assets. So asset management becomes very important when vendors are becoming very aggressive about audits and things. Well, if we respond to that by running a lot of audits in response to the vendors, we're not really doing our organization any favors. So in order to support the organization and to be part of the business, what we want to do is to get better at these controls, have tighter and tighter controls so that we're eliminating the waste. And we're turning around a benefit to the business where we're saying, here's what you have. Go out and negotiate a better deal for that so that this supplier is back-footed instead of being able to come around and put a noose around our necks. There's lots of pain. And it's, one of the biggest challenges is staff morale and keeping morale up while you're making costs and shifting around the model of what you're trying to do. The feeling that there are constant reorgs and things is unsettling to people, and the challenge is in keeping your service levels up while keeping those costs down. And so far, we've managed to do it, we believe, through a lot of the standardization work that we've done and the training programs that we've put in to support that, so that not only do we roll out a new set of processes, but we actually change the business. It's important to understand that an ITIL program is a business change program. It's not a technology program. And the technologists need to embrace it as something that is going to change the way that they work and think, rather than just a patch that's going to make everything work better. It's real business change, and it needs the support that business change demands. The things that we've found in a downturn is that there's an opportunity to actually become more of a part of our business. The business is looking for answers to very difficult questions. If we go to the table and talk with them and become part of their solution, then we're actually more part of the business. I'm not a big believer in the concept of running IT as a business, because it suggests that IT is a separate business within the business. And I don't think it is. I think that it needs to be much more tied in to what the business is doing. It needs to be aware of the specific needs of its own business, much more so. So be part of that solution. But also, don't waste this crisis. This is an opportunity to get in there and show what you can do. It's also an opportunity for identifying some real risks and owning up to them. The business will be much more willing to own up to things that it's not going to invest in now, because it's clear that it doesn't want to. So if you go to the business and say, we have issues in our systems that you need to fix or you need to accept, they'll be willing to accept them or fix them. But you can have that dialogue in this climate, and you'll find that they will thank you for it rather than kicking you out the door, which is really where we'd much rather be. And in the end, once you have those hard decisions, you'll be in a better position for the upturn, because you'll be able to make your plans, your longer-term plans, and you'll be reducing a lot of that noise in your organization.